I did 36 years in prison on a 15-year to life sentence for second-degree murder conviction. I was 22 years old when I come to prison. I'd gotten married at the age of 18. I was coming to prison. I was a second-degree petty officer. I was a father, a husband, an adult, and I thought I was supposed to have all the answers. I did not realize I could reach out to other people and get help. As my marriage failed, things got worse. I retracted into myself, my own thoughts and feelings. Finally, one day, my wife come home from work and said she'd been to see a lawyer about a divorce. I took that to be, I am divorcing you. 10 hours later, I was under arrest for first-degree murder. I was allowed to plea bargain to second-degree murder and got the 15 years to life sentence. While in prison, I took advantage of almost all of the self-help programs that were made available to me. Some of the prep program that was available, and I took advantage of the vocational training systems. Since I've been out, I work here at PrEP. I am the program coordinator for anger management and for gang awareness and recovery. I also help acclimate people, some of the guys getting out of prison and trying to get accustomed to the world again, which I am also getting accustomed to. It is a total change, as you can imagine.
Hello, my name's Al, and whether I look like it or not, I'm a murderer. I didn't plan on being a murderer. I wasn't born to be a murderer. But because there's so many life skills that I didn't learn, that's what I ultimately became. I was so full of confusion and hurt as a young person, and I didn't talk to anybody about it. So I taught myself not to care about my hurting. But a side effect of that was that while learning not to care about myself, I learned not to care about others. And in not caring about others, I became callous, I became a bully. I started self-medicating without thinking about how this affected my family or how I acted around others. Ultimately, I intervened at a party and wound up stabbing a man in the chest. And rather than feel remorse at that particular time, I was so numb from not caring that I got mad at the victim for ruining the party. And I started yelling at him to leave the party, and he finally went down an alley and bled to death. So any message that I could give to young people would be you have to talk to people. And bottling things in and not sharing what I was hurting, feeling, thinking, that led me down the path to becoming a murderer, to killing somebody, taking his life, ruining so many lives, including my own. The thing that bothered me most about my crime, my murder, is that I was not remorseful. I learned in movies that you're supposed to feel bad when you kill somebody, and I didn't. And that scared me, because I never considered myself as being cold-hearted. In prison, I started down a spiritual path, studying with the Jews, with the Muslims, with Buddhism. I was so hurting and confused, I wanted answers. And only by discovering myself spiritually did I find the good in myself. Was I able to talk to others about my past, what I'd experienced. Only in being of service to others and getting outside myself was I able to get that point in my life where I was at peace with myself, because then I started feeling like I was worth something, worthwhile, that I had a purpose in life. And it wasn't all about me and my hurting and my fear and my confusion, but about empathizing with others and sharing my life so that others wouldn't go through what I went through. And so my message to you as young people is as hard as it is, as scary as it is, talk and share about what you're feeling, what you're going through. Because other people have gone through that. I used to believe that nobody would ever understand what I was feeling, what I was worried about, my concerns. And so that isolated me from getting the help that I needed. And other people have gone through what we're going through, what I went through, what you're going through. So please, talk to them, man. Don't be somebody who 10 years from now has to sit in front of a camera and says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a murderer."
My name is Dale, and I did 24 years, 10 months in prison for murder. I didn't intend on growing up to be an addict or to be a murderer. I went to college and high school at the same time, and thought I was going to be something. But when I got into the military, I started drinking, and because men drank, and found out when I drank I got in trouble. So then when I got out of the military, I quit. Or at least I told myself I quit. I drank about every 6 months. I drank with the bosses, drank with fellow employees, drank with customers, whatever the excuse was, or sometimes drank because the day ended and why. But in the 80s, I had a welding shop, machine shop, and motorcycle club wanted it. And one of them threatened my wife when she was pregnant wife, and I beat the guy to death and tried to deliver him back to the motorcycle club. And I got caught. And the state originally charged me with capital murder. And then they reduced it just before the trial so that I wouldn't have two attorneys. And I was acquitted of capital murder, and retried and convicted of second-degree murder. And when I got to prison, I lived off that reputation for a while. And finally, I ended up getting hurt and realized that I had a problem and became depressed. But then in 2001, I started getting involved in programs. And when I got involved in programs, the more I got involved in other people's lives and started becoming of service, making a difference. And I got better mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I ran into Sister Mary through correspondence. And she gave me hope because I originally wrote to her for an excuse to get out of hope. Figured she'd reject me because I told her I was Indian and that she was Catholic. But she wrote back to me and told me that, tell me about your beliefs. And so we built a relationship, and I found that there was somebody out there that cared. And by having somebody out there that cared, I got involved in her programs and wrote her letters. And when I got out, she asked about me, and I came here and started volunteering. And today I get to be of service, making a difference, helping other people have a chance at their freedom like I have. You know, I get to give back. I get to be part of something bigger than myself. And sometimes I get to be Sister Mary and make a difference in somebody's life. And I didn't realize I had problems growing up, and because people didn't listen. And the opportunity today is, as leaders out there, if you just take time to listen, even listen to what people don't think they're saying, maybe you can make the difference in somebody's life today and prevent them from going through what I did, and help them to be the person they should be.
Hi, my name is Eric. I'm told I don't look like it, but I spent 36 of the last 37 years in California State Prison. I caused the death of two people. I was a seriously screwed up kid, multiple divorces, couldn't find an outlet to communicate with anyone. I talked to a friend of mine, and he and I did a very, very bad thing. Spent, like I said, 36 years in prison. The first 10 of those I spent growing up. It's a big thing. I took advantage of every possible program I could imagine in there. I got a college degree, a bachelor's degree even. I found out about the prep course because I lost track of everybody that I knew over the years. And never had any communication with everyone. It's a way to get mail. It's the way it started out for me anyway. And then you learn things through these courses. You know, you learn about yourself and about others and how to deal with people. Since I've got out, which has been about a year and a half now, I've continued to do the same sorts of things, working with people. I helped new parolees adjust, reacclimatize. It was a big struggle for me, not having any family to help me with that. So, you know, you become kind of a big brother to some of these guys. It's a challenge, and it still is, even after a year and a half. Things are so expensive, things are tough. You have that stigma of being, you know, an ex-felon. But you know, you want to help these guys that are still inside. You saw so much, and you want to pass it on to the guys who've gotten out, what you've seen since you've gotten out. And you want to continue to help the guys that are still in, because you know what they're going through still. So just, you know, you just want to help. And that's what I've tried to do since I've been out.